What's your favorite scary movie? Name it.
We'll tear your soul apart.
Allow Pennywise to dance you now.
Oh, not on the beat!
God, don't do that.
But sometimes dead is better.
Hey, Apollo, my response to that question is yes. I think it will.
Is that the Scream
5? Yeah, I think it will exceed Halloween. Yeah,
probably faster.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. There's so much. I would argue that there's more hype for the new Scream than there was for Halloween Kills. I think that's probably.
I agree.
That could start an argument right there, but
an argument that they'll lose if they come around here. Yeah, I think. I mean, look, the marketing for Scream. You know, not to be a dead horse that we talk about, but it's true. It's unparalleled in my book, and you know, forget about horror. Any franchise is not the insane attention to marketing they're doing. I mean, the TikTok, and we got the 12 days. I mean, featurettes coming out. I mean, I can barely even get a video ready to post, and there's new stuff. It's like a great problem, but it's don't get me wrong, but it's insane, guys. I mean,
did you see that?
I was just gonna say, if this marketing doesn't pay off, then they just need to shut down the marketing department of studios.
Right?
If this fails, then no one has a shot.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jake. What are you gonna say, man?
Did you see that featurette today? Like you saw it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
Yes. I haven't got a video out yet, but I'm been working on it.
When
I just watched it.
It was so cool, man. When he went, "Hello, Samantha," I was like, "Oh yes."
Yep.
I like the featurette so much because we finally got some insight into the characters. Like they established Wes is like the nerd, which is a really interesting thing because in that trailer, he's like, yeah, you need to delete your social medias, block your webcams. We need to do all this stuff. And everything we've seen from Ghostface, they get into Tara's security system. You know, they track, clone or take Amber's phone. They do the same thing to Liv's phone with the tracking. Yep. I was like, and then Chad, like the whole misdirection, like, oh, you got bruises and stuff, and it's like, but you established a lot. Like you established like the sort of nerdy guy. You established the jock. You established Amber as like the girl who's just like blunt and point blank. Mindy's the one that's like kind of watching everybody, like, hey, you need to be more careful, like,
and a little creepy too.
Yeah, big time creep factor, bro. Oh,
I was getting them Judy Hicks vibes.
Yes, me too.
And that answered the scene we saw where Amber's going down the stairs, and it was like, is that going to be a Tatum 2.0 scene? I mean, not saying that they still can't be attacked because full context is everything, but just going off of that, it looks like, no, it's just a scene that like it will be like a jump scare to some people, like, like,
well, it jumped. Amber jumped. I mean, when
she did.
Then when she shut which begs the question. I mean, I'm literally was working on this video later. I'll probably post it tomorrow. But the question I said in the video is, does that mean Mindy was already down there in the basement, like lurking?
That's how I took it, because what I'm thinking is like, I know you're probably suggesting like, oh, could she be Ghostface? But like, I'm almost thinking she's like being a jerk, like Randy. Think what Randy would do in that situation and be like, boom, you're dead. You know what I mean? He's like, you did not survive the horror movie because you didn't follow the rules or whatever. That's almost how I got you. That scene is gonna feel like, how that's gonna play out essentially. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
well, because she tells Amber to trust no one, and she's got that creepy look on her face.
Yeah, suspect as hell.
Dude, big time, man.
I get people asking me that all the time. They're like, when Scream 5 comes out, are you gonna like spoil stuff? Like, and I'm like, no. Like, no. I'm like, I'll probably do like a generic, like, just this is how I felt about the film. I said, and then I'll probably let it marinate for a week. Unless it's just something that like I have to talk about. But even then, like I was telling them, like I'll put like spoiler in the caption. I'll probably do like a 30-second intro. So like the only way you can absolutely see this spoiler is you actually made the effort to.
Right. You can't blame me for it.
Yeah, like I did research. But I'd like to give it a couple days because I just feel like stuff like that, because not everyone can see it as soon as it gets out. You know what I mean? Like we're kind of obligated because it's our content. Like I was like, out of every film that comes out from here to the end of time, I have to see Scream like immediately because it's kind of like my my thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you don't, it's like, what the heck are you doing? You know?
I'm gonna see it like 2 weeks after it comes out, and then I'll report it.
People asking me all the questions. I'm just making it up as we go along.
You'd be like, I just wanted to be a slacker on this guy, so you know that.
I'm letting everyone else get ahead, but and then I guess I'll talk about it. I don't know. You know,
Right.
who knows?
I just want to catch up. Oh, speaking of another thing that I get asked all the time is like, how do I think, like, will this just be pure dark, like, you know, because it looks like a more brutal Scream, stuff like that, and do I think that there will be more like, if there will be like a comical aspect to it? I don't think that it's going to be like as goofy and silly as the past ones, you know, like the kind of tongue-in-cheek comedy. I do think that there will be, you know, comical moments, and a great example is at the end of that featurette.
Yes.
When you know they're talking to Sam, and Sam's like, "So let me get this straight. You and a host of a TV show want me to commit murder?" And they're like, "Yeah,
yes,
yes." I love that. I laughed so hard on that line.
I love
and they pulled it off so well.
Yeah,
Courtney pulled it off so well. I was just like, all right, man. I'm just getting the hype level is just ratcheting up. It's crazy, man.
And I'm glad they put that scene in the featurette because it does give you that nostalgic sense of comedic presence that we saw in the first Scream. It's like, because there were moments like that in the first Scream where you would laugh, and you know, but it wasn't like goofy, but it was still funny at times. Yeah. And that was a perfect scene there. And I think my most favorite line was when Samantha, well, I should say, gosh, I went blank. What's the actress's name who plays Sam? Melissa
Barrera.
Goodness gracious. Yeah. Whenever she was being interviewed, and she said, you notice how she said every new character is connected to the legacy cast, or to the, and so, or to the, you know, the past people. So I'm like, whoa, that opens up a Pandora's box of stuff, because if every character, we already know about the Meeks, and we already know about Mackenzie because connected to Becker, and you know, we've got some things there in Sam and all this other stuff. Well, we think it's Sam is connected to Loomis, but either way, I was thinking tonight, if you guys are up for it, that's something we could talk about, because you know, she's indicating all the new characters. That was a pretty bold statement. Yeah. And that's why, you know, I texted you guys. I'm like, Vince, you know, like finally Vince. But I don't know, guys. It's interesting if they really wrote this where all of these 12 or all these I guess 9 or 10 new people, not the Hicks people, you know, all the new people are actually connected in some way directly to a legacy previous person. That is pretty brilliant, man. That's exciting.
I'm curious exactly how you're going to do that, though, because because we even have the scene where it's like, oh, all of the attacks are related to people of past killers. But like, if you really think about it, every killer is related or connected to Sydney or Billy, like because either Billy or Sydney, because you have Billy and then you have Mrs. Loomis, who's related to him. Mickey is just kind of off on his own. Roman's Sydney's sister. Jill is Sydney's cousin or whatever, or niece, whatever. And so like literally like pretty much all of the killers are either connected directly to Billy or directly to Sydney in some capacity. The other ones are just kind of like the accomplice that gets killed. Like, you know, they're just like the one that gets tricked into committing these acts for the main person. So like it's like
Mickey or Angelina.
Yeah, like Mickey, you know, Charlie, Angelina. You know,
oh yeah, baby.
Even,
that's right.
You know, like they were all characters that they weren't the main killer. They were just kind of the ones that were like bought into the cause, sort of.
Richie isn't from Woodsboro, though,
right? So that's my argument too. Because I've had people like, oh, well, he's related to Richie, or he's Stu, or he's related to this character, and I'm like, yeah, but he's like,
he's not even from, because Sam's not in Woodsboro to begin with.
When she meets him,
exactly.
Well, and that's why I don't know how
we don't really know that, I guess.
Yeah,
but how do we know? How do we not know though that Richie didn't work there because Sam was working there? How do we not know?
That's true too.
Yeah,
like,
well,
you know,
assuming he came after, like. What I mean, what are the, like, who's to say he's not working there before and she's the one that, so like in that case, like how would he know that she's gonna work at that bowling alley? You know what I mean? Like it's like, I mean, without the full context, it's hard to know. I mean, it's hard to know.
I mean, it's hard because you're trying to stretch these things together.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But the fact that Richie isn't, he has no connection to anyone as far as we know at this time.
That we know of, right?
So it's just like that. I don't know. That just doesn't click for me.